Mr. A.S. Khanna, Chairman of SSP India, will present a talk on sustainable infrastructure development. Professor A.S. Khanna, a retired faculty member of the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, and current chairman of SSPC India, a professional body specializing in surface engineering and coatings. During his 27-year tenure at IIT Bombay, he concentrated on corrosion-related research and surface engineering. Professor Khanna received numerous awards and is a fellow of ASM International, NACE International, and other esteemed organizations. He has conducted post-doctoral research in France, Germany, and Japan, authored 3 books, and organized 25 plus national and international conferences. So let's welcome Mr. A.S. Khanna.
Enough quantity of infrastructure which is required for the country, and we have enough resources for this construction. Can we enhance the uh, production of these, or production or creation of more such kind of infrastructure, and uh, also maintain them in the proper fashion? And then I will just mention, although we have progressed a lot, but there are still a lot of challenges which need to be taken care. So I'm going to talk on the first topic which was given onto that: future of India reinforcing infrastructure growth, challenges and opportunities. This was the first topic in the webinar which I'm just trying to say. So what are the infrastructures required for a country? I think roads, railways, metros, bridges, flyovers, airports, and just for creating a broad IT and other kind of resources to control all these things. Today, the space requirement is equally important. So I will just concentrate many of these topics one by one, and then try to talk on the challenges. Now, if we compare, like I'm 70 years old, and I'm seeing from the last so many years that the requirement of our resources, whether it is the roads, whether it is the bridges, flyovers, it was just random. If somebody likes some place, he can make a flyover there. If somebody likes make a road there, it is made there. But somehow I find that from last 1 decade, there is some systematic uh, rules and regulations, some systematic focus on seeing to it that in the whole country, whether it is highways, whether it is the roads in the cities and other kind of things, flyovers, metros, all these things are properly taken care, and it is done both with the help of state government and the central government. So this slide basically is one example which shows that if we compare the kind of uh, highways we were making in 2015 and kind of highways we are making today in 22, you will assess that things are going in positive directions, and soon perhaps the speed of this thing will be even more. India is a very big country, and if we are doing lots of work, even then you find in some states and some places it is still less. So today we see very positive range of this uh, having new highways and other kind of things. But I still think this is slow, and we have to do something much better than that. Second is the metros. Today you see population in country is increasing like anything. There is a difficulty of people walking on the roads and footpaths. We have transport problems. If you see, like in Mumbai and other kind of thing, the trains are full, the buses are full, and you don't get things. So one of the most important and simple and clean way of transport within the city is metros. And I am very happy to say that if we see the this report which I have just seen, which is a very crowded one, which shows that today almost in more than I think 40% of the country, the metros are either working very strongly, very smoothly, and for many other cities and states, this has already started, and in next 5 years, perhaps many of the states will be covered by these metros. Now, I'm just seeing the example of Mumbai. 11 metros are being made simultaneously. Although it has some problem, which I will discuss in the challenges. But then one thing is very clear, that the government, whether it is a state government or central government, is is prepared for creating infrastructure for the people, so that the future generation should be very comfortable with the facilities which we are creating. When we come to railways, I think railway is again something which we cannot miss. Railway is something which is part of our life. A country which has a 3,000 kilometers from bottom to the top, the cheapest way where everybody can afford this kind of a thing is railway. Again, I'm seeing in the last 1 decade, earlier we used to see whenever there is a crowded months like summer vacations and other thing, you will see hundreds of special trains coming out, and their way of running, way of schedules and everything was haywire. If you are sitting on a special train, you don't know when you will reach to your destination. But today, I'm surprised to see we are working on bullet trains, although this has been delayed to a certain extent. But if you see the example of Vande Bharat trains, I am surprised it is coming out like a bus comes out from a factory. And that is something which cannot be done without a proper focus on manufacturing process and creating the excel in the facility and moving them on the rails and giving these fantastic facilities to people right from south to north and east to west. So that is a wonderful example where it appears that the state government and the central government has some responsibility for the people of the country. And again, I have just listed in these 9 years, we have 41 Vande Bharat trains. And if you see from here, as I told, right from east to west to north to south, these things are covered. And sometimes I wonder, after 1 week or 2 weeks, Modi is reaching and flagging Vande Bharat from this place. Another 10 days, is, I mean, to me, it appears that until and unless your manufacturing process of trains is not smooth, and your process of giving one of the best facilities in the trains, which are not there except in the Shatabdi, and these facilities are better than Shatabdi, is another thing, that very clearly shows you care for the people and you care for the future, so that the people at our kids and other things later on don't say us that we have not created the best facilities. Another example, again, I will say that, which is, of course, a very dedicated thing coming out from the right from the beginning. But suddenly there is a escalation of special bridges, where is the escalation of two-tier bridges recently in Nagpur, our the sea links in Bombay, and now there is a very big sea link coming from Bombay to New Bombay. Now these kind of things cannot be done overnight. And what is required for that is a excellent planning, the resources, and mind and engineers working together to bring out the production which is coming in a very nice manner. So that is something which is very important. Again, we have seen in the last 10 years the Atal tunnel in the Manali to Ladakh. That is one of the biggest example of excellence in what is called the making underground activity, making underground tunnels, and making smooth facility of that. Just 10 days ago, on the New Year Eve, 50,000 vehicles passed through the Atal tunnel from Manali to this thing. And there was hardly any problem into that. That very clearly shows that the you have created the facilities, and at the same time you have made them excellent with less things into that. Now I will come to the challenges of that. As I told you, we have made fantastic number of roads, highways, and but again, we all are Indians, and I'm not talking to any foreigner or other kind of a thing. We know that when we walk on the city, or when we go to highways and drive, one of the biggest problem of this thing is that although our speed of making the highways and road is very good, but these are not free from problems. We see that the rules of the roads are not followed very properly. People are in cities, you see the people are going to the wrong sides. Nobody says anything to them. Encroachment on the roads, that is the biggest problem, which I think cannot happen until and unless the authorities and these people are mixing together and doing all kind of a corruption and things like that. So it is very important that if you have created very strong facilities, very strong infrastructure, it should also run smoothly and give 100% to the people. Of course, there is a role of people also into that. But I think that the role of people comes only when you create strict rules, strict follow-up, and all this kind of a things. So I have just through my this thing I have given this kind of a suggestion that we should make strict rule for the encroachments, at least on the crowded roads. There should not be an inch of encroachment on the road. There should be very strict barricades on the footpath that you cannot come and put anything on that. We should have car parking areas and things like that. People cannot just start doing their activity of car washing and other thing on the roads and spoil the normal traffic. In the same way, hawkers, there is a trend in many state governments to create hawker zone at everywhere. I think this is going to spoil the infrastructure, and that is creating a very bad name for the people who have done so much of work to create a better infrastructure. We have bridges and other thing where people go and start putting shops there and don't allow people to walk over that. So these are the very important challenges which we have to look into that. Second important thing is continuous repairs and new developments. I know from last 7 years in Bombay, we are having 11 uh, metros coming together. So you go anywhere in the city, you find the road has dug. There is no alternative way. People have to pass through that thing, and there are huge, crowds for the people to go to their offices and things like that. Now, this is a bad management. If you have to create, I mean, there is no way of making there is no compulsion to you to make 11 metros together on this thing. You can make 2 3 parallel and another 2 later on. But this kind of thing, when you work, either you should have a very clear this thing, or you should separate them into that. So this kind of a thing is very important. Second thing, again, I'm taking the example of Bombay because I'm living in Bombay, that the rainy season becomes the one of the worst season for India, for Mumbai people. Although it is the best season from the environment, but it is bad for going to your offices, for commuting, because the roads are fully done. Roads are having potholes, broken roads, and things like that. I'm surprised that I'm living in Mumbai from last 30 years. I have not seen BMC or other people try to find out the better cements and better technologies in which the repair of the potholes can be done very fast. In the previous lecture, Mr. Gupta has given lots of different kind of cements, lots of different kind of things, strong cements and fast curing cements, but they never want to apply. The corruption and other thing is perhaps on the top, which they don't. So this development of creating a good infrastructure, but at the same time maintaining this infrastructure good, these things are very, very important. Otherwise, you spend a lot of money on the good infrastructure, which still doesn't give you things onto that. And this is a very serious matter. And I think uh, if, for better future infrastructure, these challenges have to be met in order to give everything to the people. Now, coming to the airports, today the I'm traveling in air from almost last 30 years, 35 years. At one time, we used to have a like a red carpet kind of reception when you used to go to the air. Today, aeroplanes and airports are just like sabji mandis, because the crowd is increasing very much, population has increased, people have enough money to travel in the things. So because of that, you need more aeroplanes, more number of flights going to the various parts of this thing. And this is already being shown in this slide, that almost 29 different airports are in the process, and some in the proposal stage. Now this itself shows that what India needs, what kind of infrastructure India needs in the coming years. And the planning and overall management of this thing is very strictly required. We need good, you know, uh, what is called people who can construct these things in a systematic way without any kind of corruption, and good material, the kind of material Mr. Gupta was telling, and also the other materials which are required to make a good activity. Now, why I use space in the infrastructure? Because space today gives us lots of information in terms of the day-to-day management, to catch up what is happening at the particular thing. If accident happens, you want to know where it has happened, how you can reach fast, and all these things. So I was surprised to see this table, that from today onward, 24 to 35, there are 10 different plans in which we are trying to explore the environment and trying to find out how particular kind of thing is going to help us, and trying to work onto that. So this list is again an eye opener, that we are not looking only the infrastructure on the roads and grounds, but we are also looking how space facilities, infrastructure on the space can help us to create this kind of a thing. So, and also by seeing the budget, which you have seen that today in 23, we are talking about $186.24 billion. We are going to make it to almost 294. So this all all planning which we are talking about is also based upon this thing. And today I'm sure the way India is progressing, and we are reaching to the 5 trillion economy, these things indicate very clearly that how this 5 trillion economy will be achieved by making all this infrastructure. Now, what is my role as a SSPC or a surface engineering person into that? My role is very clear. When you create a lot of this infrastructure, you need lot of paints, you need lot of corrosion protection things, you need lots of materials which require corrosion protection, which require proper welding, which require proper installation. That is what we are going to do. And today, if you see even the paint market, it has gone from to reach 70 crores, and in the next by 28 it is going to reach 100,000. So that is the level in which the progress is going on. So I will complete my job with this thing, and I hope you will agree with some of the points I have made, and perhaps you will also support the government, support the state governments and other to maintain things in the proper fashion, so that we can have a sustainable infrastructure in future.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna, for your insights on sustainable infrastructure development.